Well, Nick's on his way back from. He's going to be here just late. He was coming back from drill. Who else are we missing? Is Evan in here too?
Evan's been gone like a ton this week.
All right, I'll give you a name quiz. Somebody give a piece of paper and sign names.
I almost skipped today.
Did you?
Yeah. Locked out there. Yeah, that's exactly.
And whoever starts it, will you put Largen's name on it, please? That's a legitimate excuse.
Brian Lindsay is with cross country.
That's also yeah. Put that on there too. Just Brennan. Just do BL or something, or it won't matter. Oh, everybody's just doing individual. I get it. Oh, I thought that we were gonna pass around an individual. Whatever is fine. Somebody create a source document. Yeah, we don't need to waste a bunch of trees. You only need those later.
So are we doing just one?
One document.
Who's got the one document? Oh, cool. Teamwork.
Right. And is so Largen and Brendan Lentz should both be on there. Those are both excused. Don't worry about spelling. Just I'll figure it out. So who else are we missing? Is anybody here? No. Brennan, he's got a cross-country thing. Those are the two I'm punishing. Who's back there? Anybody else back there?
I don't think so. Jake is right. Is Jake here?
Jake?
I don't think so.
No, State Farm's not in here. Jake? Who's Jake? One of these days I have to invite Shira to come back and visit. I've told you guys have heard of Shira, right? That was like the original good nickname. We had a student, he was a football player. This was years ago when I first started here. And he was ripped. His name was Ronique Rose. He was ripped, but he was not like He-Man ripped. He was more like She-Ra ripped, right? He was a little guy. Okay? Okay? So he was in good shape, but he was a little dude. So we called it, instead of He-Man, I called him She-Ra. Well, this dude was signing his test that by the end. Nobody even knew what the dude's name was. It was worse than Amish. Okay? People realize that Amish has a name. Now, this guy's name was She-Ra. It was pretty funny. Okay, so we were supposed to update this so that every single time we rolled on the watch, it updated the phone. Is that and the phone should maintain a list of rolls. Is that the gist? All right, so let's look what we got here currently. So we're gonna run this guy on here. And right now we have everything linked up to our ad. Storage full. Try removing music and photos. Huh? Let's So let's go back now and run the other target. How does the simulator become full?
Those dice objects are just weirdly memory intensive.
Are we passing you messages right now? Are we doing it from
I
here?
thought we got rid of it.
Oh, we were just testing up here. That's it. Right now, we just have a table view deal here, right? Okay, gotcha. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to focus on the watch side of things to send the message to the other guy every single time a roll happens. So let's go down to our WatchKit app. Yeah, that really doesn't surprise me about the Apple Watch not having as much memory. The simulator, the phone simulator, let's pop this up here real quick. If I go back to home and I go to images, it comes with stock images. All of these images are like huge in size. Okay, these are like Apple must be like showing off like 14K images. Like these are like 30 megabytes, these images. And so I was writing an app that connected to Parse, which we're going to start looking at here before too long, the other day. And you can upload images there. And Parse has a maximum image size of 10 megabytes. And I couldn't use we were using the image picker. We couldn't use it from here because it was the images were too large. The Apple's.
Is it images or files themselves?
Well, it's a file. Yeah, they're for large files. They recommend you use Amazon S3 for storage, and then link to that. That's what Parse's solution is. But I mean, I took a image. With a live image with my phone the other day, and this is the 6S Plus, so you would assume this would be the largest iPhone image that would be taken from the phone, presumably, right? 2.2 megabytes. Should work just fine. Totally on. Okay. So, let's go and get our watch talking to our phone. So we'll come over here to the extension. We have our interface controller thing right now. Those are our example stuff. That's not what we want. We want code behinds, main screen. Okay, here we go. All right, so in Awake with Context, we're already registering for our session, so we have the ability to do that. Now, every single time a roll occurs, we want to go ahead and send that message over to our phone. So let's steal our code we have commented out. Right now, I think we have it for our button. Oh, this guy, the segue guy. So here's our session, send message with reply handler. We don't need the reply handler in this case. Or we can also update the application context. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now we saw actually that we needed to send the message inside of a async task in order for it to happen instantly, right? All right, but let's just get it talking first. So let's just steal this piece right here. We'll comment out the rest of this. This guy return something? Yeah, he does. All right, so now when we click on one of our guys, that's inside of did select row at index. If the current mode is roll, we're going to present our roll controller, well, the roll. So we're going to pass it dice rollers dot rolls. So let's see, this guy's title is our, what's the name of that screen? Oh, we're just doing it as an alert. I get it. Okay. So here's our actual rolls, right? And when we roll it right now, what does this guy show up as? Okay, it shows me the individual rolls. So we're calling our dice roller core dot the rolls, which is going to be a roll, at an index then calling his role method. So that means we must have support objects in here. Is that a role, this guy? All right, and this guy's gonna build a string for us that has all that crap in there. So let's just store the string. Is that what everybody did? Just pass the string? All right, so we'll go ahead and store the string inside of here. So we'll say let role string be equal to this dude. All right, and then we'll go ahead and we will pass the role string as our message to there to present that dude. And then we're also going to go ahead and we're going to send our message. So the message we're going to send is, where's the segue stuff here? Session send message, okay. Session dot send message. The message we're going to send is a role and then role string, and reply handler we'll say is nil, and error handler is nil. So that should send the message. All right. Oh, we actually only needed to do the thing as an asynchronous task if we were updating a label, right? Because that was happening on a different different thread. Not be used with array literals. Oh, it's because I always want to put a comma in there. All right, so now I'm sending that message. So now we should receive the message on the phone side of things. So let's go over to the phone, prove that we're receiving it. So we already have our phone core, but we'll just do this inside of our main table view controller guy. And where's our did receive? Oh, did we take that out? Well, it would have been nice if I would have kept that code. All right, so I'm already registering my session, not registering the session either. Okay. So let's go get that. We'll steal it from down here. Steal that code. Then up top, we need to import watch connectivity and give ourselves a WC session. So import watch connectivity, and we're going to give ourselves a well, here, let's do this inside of muted load first. We have a session variable, so we'll say var session is of type WC session. So we're promising we'll set that. All right, and so now we need to say we're going to implement some of those session WC session delegate stuff. So this guy is going to be complaining about that, right? So we'll just put that in here, session delegate. All right, so now he's happy. So now we can go ahead and write those session delegate thingies. So we'll say func session did receive message this guy, because we're not sending a reply handler, right? And let's just print out the message we received. So print message. All right, so this should be whenever we receive the message, this happens. Okay, so let's test that. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to run this on the phone real quick. I'm sorry, the watch. Just to get the watch updated. Then I'll kill that. Now we're going to run it on the phone. And then manually launch the watch. And then we'll go ahead and do a roll. And there's our A roll that we received right here. All right, so we got the guy over there, right? Received the message. Now we need to store that list of messages somewhere. Probably going to be ultimately put it in NS user defaults because we want to remember it. But for right now, let's just get it showing up in our table view. Take it one step at a time. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have our table view operating off of, let's see, I can go ahead and close we're done with the watch side of things for right now, right? Now we're just storing stuff on the phone. Phone's receiving the message it needs to receive. So let's kill off a couple of things here. So first of all, we are putting stuff in this new entry screen. We don't really need that, right? So let's kill that guy. So here's our data entry VC. So move him to trash, we don't need him. And here's him over here, we don't need him. Okay, and then we don't need this plus button anymore. Get rid of that. All right. So we've kind of gutted our application. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and let's just get some stuff showing up in this table view. So we'll go back into main table view controller here. So we go ahead and we store our table view inside a phone core, and we don't really need this now because we don't have that second screen that needs to tell our first screen to update. Because we're actually happening all on this screen, but it's not going to hurt anything. You know, actually, it is going to hurt something. It's bad programming practice, and I won't stand for it. So we're going to take it out of phone core. We're going to take it out of main TVC. We might put it back later as we continue to evolve this, but for right now, we don't need that. Okay. So now, number of sections is going to be 1. Now our row data, this is the part that starts off as being empty right now. And what's our row data? This is in phone core. This guy is an empty string array for right now. Now every single time we receive our message, we want to go ahead and add something to the row data and then tell our table view to update itself. Right? That's what this guy's going to do. So let's go back in here. So when we fill in our cell for row and index path, we get the cell, we set its text equal to whatever's in there, and we're good. Initially, our array is empty, but when we receive our message, which I put in up here, instead of printing the message, we're going to go ahead and say phone core dot the row data dot append message, and then self.tv reload data. Oh, sorry. This guy's called, it's message at bucket a roll. As a string. All right, so we'll throw that into our row data, and then we'll tell our table view to reload itself so it shows our new roll that was just made. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the phone app. Empty initially, we have nothing in that table. Let's go ahead and get our watch going here. So we'll go ahead and click this. We need to reconnect it. Oh, there it was. Shouldn't, oh, same problem. Same problem. So we need to asynchronously tell this guy to reload its data, right? So what was that? Async. No, it was dispatch. And then it's dispatch get main queue. And then the block is going to be this guy, right? All right, now this should work a little quicker.
So that the phone core, the row data, that first one, it doesn't change any of the view at all. It shouldn't.
No, that's just storing. That's just storing data. I mean, we could throw this in to do it in async, but this guy takes no time at all. And since we're not dealing with the, this is equivalent to like printing stuff to the screen. It should happen instantaneously. There's a roll. There's another roll. There's another roll. Ooh, nasty. That had to be a mage fireball. Actually, it would be a wizard fireball in revision 3. Mages didn't get fireballs. Casual. I love that. All right. But mages had more spells at level 1. All right. So we have this guy now updating and showing us stuff. Okay. Now this is the stuff we're putting in here. So what would be nice maybe, well, let's kind of take this a step further. So now let's go ahead and let's store this in NS user defaults. Was that part of the assignment? To remember our historical roles? Okay. So now every single time we get a role, we want to go ahead and also update our NS user defaults so that we can pre-populate this. So at any point in time, let's say when our app first launches, we're no longer going to have phone core being equal to this. He's now going to hold a string array, and we're guaranteeing that we'll give him a string array. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into our main TVC, and in view did load, we're going to go ahead and figure out if we have some saved roles. Okay, so we're going to say, I'm actually going to give myself access to NS user defaults here at the top. Let defaults equal, what is it? NS user defaults, standard defaults. There we go. All right, so now we have access to that guy. And then inside of view did load, we're going to go ahead and try to get our, well, we'll do this first, I guess. So we're going to say let the roles equal self.defaults.object for key, and we'll call this guy the roles. If the roles is equal to nil, if that's a true statement, then what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and we're going to set the roles. So self.defaults.set object. The value is going to be a empty string array, and the key is going to be the roles. So after the very first time we run this, we're guaranteed to actually have a roles array. stored inside of NS user defaults. Make sense? Then we'll go ahead and we're going to say, if it's equal to nil, we're going to do this. And so we'll say, what do we call it? Phone core? Phone core dot the row data is equal to, we actually probably want to say this, the roles is equal to this guy. And then store the roles here. That way we don't create the thing twice. And then we can steal this here. And this guy needs to be a var. And then we'll say phone core dot the row data is equal to the roles. As array of strings. All right, so when the phone app first loads, we get to our table view screen. We'll go ahead and we'll ask defaults for the roles, so anything we've saved. If we hadn't had anything saved, we'll go ahead and create our roles variable, and we'll save it. That way it'll be there next time. And then we're going to go ahead and in either case, whether we're saving it here or we're setting it here, in either case we will remember this in phone core. Okay? And this is in view did load. Now, every single time we receive a message, put it at the top. Yeah, here it is. When we receive a message, we're updating our table view, but we also want to go ahead and we want to update our defaults. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to say self.defaults.setObject. Actually, it's phone core dot the row data for key the roles. All right, so we'll go ahead and overwrite that object. That way it's always up to date. And then we'll go ahead and reload our data. Now what's interesting here is does when we pull the roles out of NS user defaults, does it give us a mutable array or is it an immutable array? I want to say it might be immutable. So we might need to build an array here. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure it is because that's how it is for the watch, isn't it? Because we had to put it into the.
We'll see here soon enough whether or not we can actually save these things. So we'll go ahead and roll. That's there. Go ahead and roll again. That's there. Now let's kill the app. And let's see if the stuff starts off being there. Yeah, it remembers it. Roll again. Roll again. Kill the app. We should have 4 things in there now. Okay. So, seems like it's doing what we want it to do. All right. So, ideally, we would like to probably have this stuff organized a little bit nicer, right? Instead of just hard coding the values in here, we see that we're giving ourselves this little arrow. So that's kind of a divider for us. So we could separate these guys into 2 pieces and then display them in our rows a little bit, let's say, cleaner. So why don't we go ahead and make our rows so that they show the total role and then they show the individual roles beneath it. Okay, we have, so this is unlike the watch side of things, we have some built-in templates for our table view cells. We can also make custom ones, and we'll do that, but we do have built-in templates for this. So we'll come in here, and right now for our, so when I click on our prototype cell here, slide this guy back in. which I obviously cannot click on, so we'll do this. Isn't that our cell? View, table view, there's an individual cell. Oh, I'm just on the wrong screen, that's the problem. So right now I have the style set as custom. We're going to go ahead and change this guy to subtitle. Okay, this gives us a title and gives us a subtitle that lives underneath it. Did we look at this last time? These two guys? Okay. So now I'll go back in here. And when we're setting these guys inside of cell for row and index path, we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab this string, but we're going to split it. I'm going to copy that here. We're going to say let the parts equal this guy dot, no, what is it, components? Components separated by string, and the string is going to be that guy. Okay. Then we're going to set our, actually this is correct, it's the text label equal to the parts at bucket 0, and then cell dot detail text label dot text equal to the parts at bucket 1. All right, so we'll go ahead and take advantage of the consistency in our format to see those individual pieces. Oh, I had it backwards. The 14 comes second, right? The strings we were receiving was this followed by the arrow followed by the total. I want to show the total at the top and then the other one. So just need to flip-flop these. This is 1, this is 0. Run this again. All right, so here's we get our total roll with a, our individual rolls underneath. Total roll, total roll, total roll. So this is a built-in template for a UI table view cell that we can use for the subtotals, but we don't really get any meaning to these individual guys here. We don't get any meaning to these guys in here, so we probably want to go ahead and give ourselves custom rows in here. Okay, so we're going to do that in a similar way to what we did on the watch side of things. Okay, except watch side of things, we started with an NS object. And so each row in a table view on the watch is an NS object. Each row on a table view on the phone is a UI table view cell, which is an NS object. All right, so everything on the phone is kind of heavier. There's more stuff going on. We can get more stuff out of it, but punchline is we have some limitations. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to right click. We're going to create a new file here. And the new file is going to be a Cocoa Touch class. And notice we're under iOS, not WatchKit or WatchOS. So we're under iOS. And we're going to call this guy custom cell. Actually, let's call this guy roll detail cell. Something like that. And this guy's not going to be an NS object. He's going to be UI table view cell. It's the kind of animal he'll be. So we'll go ahead and close that. Connect it to our project. All right, so we have that guy in there now. Let's go back to our storyboard and connect this up. So we'll click on our cell. Slide this in. This guy's no longer going to be style subtitle. He's now custom. Identifier is still cell. We're going to change his class to no longer be a generic UI table view cell. Now he's a role detail cell table view cell. Wow, I must have let the built-in naming convention thing get the best of me there. I was testing you, and you guys screwed me over. That's what happened. All right, so. Nope, unacceptable. This cannot stand. Wait, hold on. There we go. Move the trash. We're going to build that guy again, but we're going to do it more bestest this time. File, Cocoa Touch. He's still a table view cell, so what I call a role detail cell. There we go. Nailed it. So we have that. Go to our main storyboard. Now we can tell this guy he's no longer a UI table view cell. Now he's a role detail cell. Okay, so he looks like this. And we can start putting stuff in here. Where's my prototype cell? Oh, here we go. I'm just going to make it a little bigger. So first of all, I click on my table view here, and I need to give myself some I don't know why I don't have stuff showing up here for oh. Well, at least now we have our line now. So let's go ahead and throw a label in here. So we'll call this guy total. Put him up there near the top. Then we'll call this guy. This is total val. And we're going to have to give ourselves a outlet there for that guy. So let's go ahead and connect that. All right, but we need to switch over to our role detail guy here. Give ourselves an outlet. This is role total label. Connect that. And I'm going to give myself another, well, for right now, let's just do that one thing. How else can we show our this might be interesting. I don't think this is going to work out very well for us, but we can try it. So we'll try to give ourselves a scroll view, a text view in here that should give us a wall of text that we can scroll through for really long roles. But the problem is going to be is how do you scroll within a role, within a row? I don't, because the rows might be able to do that, but I think that's going to be an event in and of itself. So this is going to be a weakness in the interface. So we'll see this here in a second. Right now we'll just default it to a bunch of crap in there, but let's give ourselves an outlet to this, just so we have it. So here's our outlet, and this guy is going to be a, what do we call the other guy? We called it the role total. This is the role details TV for text view. I'm going to spell it out, text view. All right, a couple outlets there. Go ahead.
Can you use pressure touch for that text box to pop it up?
You probably could, but only on the newest device. But that's not a bad idea. Like see the details, pressure touch on it. But we'll maybe have it just go to make it generic for all things. We can have it go to the another screen. So we'll look at that. But let's just see how the limitation we get here with this. So now we need to come down here, and when we are getting our cell, this cell is not a normal UI table view cell now. He is now a role detail cell. A little bit different kind of animal. And therefore he no longer has a text label. He now has a cell dot role total label dot text. All right, and then we're not even going to try to set the other part for right now. Let's just see if that thing scrolls. So otherwise, this thing should work the same. We just have more control now over our individual cell. Okay, so here's our roles that are built in. Oh, wait a minute. It does let me do it. Hot.
If you go all the way to the bottom and then try it again.
Do what now?
Like scroll all the way up within that.
Oh, I still have this thing set as editable. Let's turn that off for right now. By default, our text views are editable, which means that I can double click on it and type crap. All right. All right, what do you want me to do?
Scroll all the way up and do it again. No. Same way. And then do that again.
Oh, this?
I just wanted to see if it would scroll the outer table view.
Oh, I see.
All the way down.
No, it seems to be aware if I'm on top of that. It didn't used to work that way.
You use the slider, like not clicking and stuff, but actually just using like the two-hand touch, you know,
Two-hand touch?
like pad on the pad where you use the scroll bar.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about.
this guy?
No. Where you can like use two fingers and that scrolls instead of moving the mouse. Just forget it.
Oh, well, I mean, that doesn't
It's
work.
the same thing as that.
Yeah,
It wouldn't actually
yeah, but that doesn't work on the phone. It's a different. I know what you mean though. Yeah, but that's actually kind of slick that works like that. So now what we can do is let's kind of shift this guy over this way. This actually gives me kind of a, assuming this works, this gives me kind of a sick idea. Can we put a table view inside of this that has our individual roles? Seems like maybe. We're going to do it. For your homework assignment. No.
Just make it bigger.
Alright, so this is total. Take this guy off. So this is our total, and then this guy will be our details. Let's see what this looks like now. Okay. Looks fairly legit. And then we can just center this guy. And then we want to go ahead and make our actual detail roles show up in the other guy. So this will be, steal this real quick. Cell dot, what is it, detail text label dot text. I thought we called it text view. Role details text view. Okay. Dot text is equal to this guy. So now it should actually have our real roll stuff in it. Not all of them will be scrollable. All right, so that one doesn't have anything in it, but this guy, we can now see all our individual rolls. Kind of slick. Okay. So it seems like the next thing for us to do then is to convert this into a table view. I think that would be kind of cool. But for your, let's see, what little changes can we do to this for your homework? So I want to actually give you the starting point for code this time. So let's commit this. Updated for homework on 11/13/15. And then let's push. You know what? I won't give you homework. We'll do it on Monday. I want to try the table view thing, and then we'll come up with the. So your homework assignment is to remind me on Monday that I want to try the table view thing. Fair.
Instead of in
place of the text view. Yeah, instead of the text view, I want to actually put a table view inside of a table view cell.
Crazy.
And see if that works. Okay. Have a good weekend.